The President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, called for Council of State meeting yesterday. Many Nigerians reacted, and one of the reactions from Nigerians was that, will anything good come out of the Council of State meeting? This is a meeting where the governor, Senate President, Speaker of the House, Chief Justice of the Federation, present and past, we meet together with the President to discuss state of the nation. But in this case, I reported in our last video that the former president, since the return of democracy, the first president, Olusegun Obasanjo, was, in absentia. He wasn't there at all. And this again sparked some kind of reaction from some certain political spectrum. Some believe that, just like Dele Aleke said, that
for resisting any unconstitutional move to change government,
that there was a sponsor protest for a regime change. We are not in a military era. This is something that these politicians need to understand, especially this APC government. They need to understand that we are not in a military era. We are in a democratic era. So I don't understand the reason why they always use the terminology regime. Although their characteristic and behavior since they took over power in 2015 has been more like a military government. So I'm not surprised to be hearing them saying that, but it's wrong for them to be using that terminology. However, the meeting came up with a vote of confidence. That is the only reasonable thing that came out of that meeting that we have been hearing since, that the vote of confidence has been passed by the council for Mr. President. But yes, I'm not surprised to hear that, because why won't he receive vote of confidence? After all, he has been looking for legitimacy all along. Since he assumed office 29th of May 2023, he has been looking for legitimacy, and I believe that, just like it was reported that he has jetted out of the country to Equatorial Guinea, I believe, that for an invitation by the president of the country. The president has always been receiving invitation from left, right and center without any investment coming in and all of that. Companies are leaving the country. So I'm not surprised to hear that there was a vote of confidence from the council, and then they went in for another round of meeting with the governors, of which the governors passed vote of confidence for Mr. President. You see, this is something that we are used to right from Buhari's administration. But before I talk further, listen to what Dele Aleke said, as well as the Minister of Finance and Economy.
the council thanked Nigerians at large for resisting any unconstitutional move to change government. If anybody is not satisfied with the government, any current administration, there's always an election coming. So you wait for election and cast your vote the way you deem fit.
In broad terms, the economy is growing. The balance of payments, in particular, the trade balance and the current account balance, are in surplus. The exchange rate is stabilizing, and inflation, though high, uncomfortably high for the liking of Mr. President and his team, it is slowing and it is set to fall.
Now that you've heard what both of them have said about the meeting of Council of State, as well as the vote of confidence being passed on the president, let's listen to this governor.
The high note of the meeting was a unanimous passage of a vote of confidence on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, Commander-in-Chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces. Members, especially those of the Nigerian Governors Forum, were satisfied with the presentation by the members of the Federal Executive Council.
So this whole meeting was just for vote of confidence, and now you could understand the reason why Obasanjo shunned this particular meeting, as well as IBB. Because what is the reason for this meeting in the first place? In as much as the past administration, Muhammadu Buhari, was always calling for this particular meeting, but this meeting is long overdue. It could have been held 6 months ago, not now that there was a massive protest and then days after you are calling for a Council of State meeting. Yes, every reasonable government, yes, we actually call for Council of State meeting to discuss a way forward. But just like many believe that Nigeria is an enterprise of where those who have shares in the company will always decide what happens within the company and all of that. And that could be the reason why this Council of State, which was established after Gowon was removed from office back in the 70s, is something that you could actually understand that those people will come together every time to have a conversation that will not materialize to any form of development or even bring out 1 million people out of poverty. Like one said, it is a meeting of criminals. So what do you expect? These are people that have been looting the resources of this country since day one. Talking about Abu Salami, talking about Gowon, talking about Buhari, Jonathan, and all of them. In fact, what have they done to the betterment of this country? So them coming back to meet and giving a vote of confidence to Tinubu, why weren't there? Was it not Buhari that left office just now that created all the problems that we are seeing in this country right now? But if you look carefully, the Tinubu-led government, where they were part and parcel of the last administration, they understand what actually was going on. So if they couldn't advise the president then, and they saw all that was happening and kept quiet, and then come into power, they were supposed to actually own it up and take decisions that will, reduce all the tensions and the rest. But then they decided to go the same way of bigotry, and all kind of shenanigans has been happening within the last 1 year. Anyway, like we said, the only sense among them in terms of economic development and the way the country was, compared security wise and compared to what we have today, is Jonathan. As much as he have his own flaws, but he is Jonathan, because when you compare his antecedent compared to Tinubu and Buhari 1 year in office, you will understand that he's just like an angel. But the more we go further, the worse we go as a nation. And this is my own concern. We're supposed to be having a better leader, not having the worst of the worst. Each time that one is leaving office, we get to miss them. And some are already saying that when Tinubu leave this place, we will miss him, because the next person that will come, God forbid. Let me go to get the comment section.